Welcome back, trainer. So it is back again, the Master League, and not only that, but the Premier Master League. We're going to go ahead and go over to Pvpoke and take a look at the top meta, although it hasn't really changed too much, but let's just go ahead and refresh your memory so you can go into this ready to go, and of course, expecting the top meta. Now, if you did play last season, you already have a good understanding of what's going to take place here in the Pokemon that you're going to be seeing. So going into the Master League for just the open meta, you're going to have Groudon at the top. This is going to be good up against Dialga, Giratina Origin Form, Melmetal, Giratina Altered Form, and Mewtwo, just to name a few. It's not going to be too hot up against Togekiss, of course Kyogre, Dragonite, and then Palkia. And it's going to be calling for Mud Shot, Earthquake, and then Fire Punch. Fire Punch is going to be a legacy. You're not going to be able to simply TM it. You're going to have to use an Elite TM if you did not catch that one during the whole special event that we did have going down. Moving down the list here, pretty standard stuff. You have Shadow Mewtwo at that number 11 spot, so not quite as close as the original Mewtwo, the regular one. That's Shadow Mewtwo. I'm telling you guys, I used it last season, and it's just so glassy. It cannot take a hit, but it will absolutely every single time draw out a shield, for the most part, going up against your opponent because it hits so dang hard. Now, going down the list here, Melmetal, of course, Dragonite, Garchomp, Shadow Dragonite, Shadow Gyarados, which is pretty interesting, as well as the new Aqua Tail that it does have to its addition. And then take a look at the regular Gyarados, is going to be at actually 31 compared to the Shadow, which is going to be doing a little bit better. But moving back up to the top, what you're going to be more than likely seeing here, the same repeat of Pokemon. Now, personally, I prefer the Premier Cup, so let's just go ahead and hop into here and focus more on this. So number one now is going to be Shadow Snorlax. Before, it was going to be Metagross. So as you may know, our MVP was going to probably be Shadow Metagross, as well as the Conkeldurr. While we did reach rank 10 for last season, it's going to be good up against Metagross, Togekiss, Magnezone, regular Snorlax, Mamoswine, and those are things you're going to be seeing all the time. It's going to be losing up against Dragonite, Swampert, Garchomp, Gyarados, and Machamp. Machamp for sure. The other ones, very circumstantial. Of course, it depends on how much energy you have and how much energy they have, how much HP, but I've felt pretty comfortable going up against those other Pokemon it did name. Besides Machamp, of course. I mean, Machamp's just going to straight up destroy you because it's fighting type. So taking a look at the matchups up against other Pokemon here and where it's not going to be winning, we can see the Gyarados as well, although I felt comfortable in that matchup to be calling for Lick, Body Slam, Superpower, and then Earthquake at 11% compared to Superpower at 22%. But honestly, I'm going to just say go Superpower. That's just my personal opinion. There's so many things weak to fighting, and Superpower hits hard, although you're going to have to build up too, or just be very aware that you're going to be losing that attack and defense when you do use it. So taking a look at Metagross, of course, Metagross is just going to be disgustingly strong. Good up against Togekiss, Dragonite, Machamp, Mamoswine, Slacking. Excuse me, Slacking. Let's look up Slacking and see why that's even on the list here. It's actually going to be ranked 136. Okay. Okay, good up against Sarcophagus, Tentacruel, Drapion. What is this? What is Slacking doing? Okay, just had to check that out. A little confused there. Okay, Slacking is a viable Pokemon to some degree, I guess. Anyways, let's get back on track here. So Metagross, of course, you're gonna have to have that Legacy Meteor Mash and then Bullet Punch. So if you do have a Shadow, actually, it's gonna be performing quite nicely. The regular Metagross is just going to be a little bit more consistent regarding survivability and going up against certain matchups. The Shadow is just obviously going to be just dishing out the damage, absurd amounts of damage, but also going to be taking a little bit more damage because of the Shadow aspect of it, right? So going up against Togekiss here. All right, now check this out. This is weird. All right, now this is something I don't understand what's going over here on Pvpoke. So check it out. Going up against Togekiss, you see the matchup, it was an even one with Aqua Tail. I switch it to Hydro Pump and we win by 1 HP. But it doesn't make sense because it doesn't use Hydro Pump. We don't bait, it's straight Aqua Tail. But watch what I do here. I don't understand. Maybe I'm just missing something. So we go again because I'm just tripping here. All right, so I'm like, okay, what? How do we survive with 1 HP with Hydro Pump, and then with Crunch we tie? when we're not going for Crunch, when we're not going for Hydro Pump. So makes no sense. Don't know what's going on here. Not too big of a deal, but little things like this that you need to pay attention to when you're just going into Pvpoke and you're like, okay, it's going to be able to do this, this, and this, and this. You kind of need to do a little bit more investigating to see 100% what's going to work for you, because a lot of these matchups, it's very dependent on you throwing a bait and landing the bait. Because, I mean, not everybody's going to shield that up. And if you are thinking about the scenarios and the matchups on Pvpoke, and then you go into the battlefield, the real world, and people aren't shielding up your baits, well, those matchups aren't going to be exactly like they played out as they said. No discredit to Pvpoke. I'm just trying to give you guys a little bit of advice here. Anyways, taking a look at Magnezone, I mean, another Pokemon you're going to be seeing all over the place that's just going to be absolutely destroying. You know, they build up to 2 of those wild charges, and it is not necessarily game over, but man, look out. The thing is going to be dishing out massive damage, and then they usually swap after that to preserve the health. So it's just going to continuously be a problem for you. So Magnezone, something to think about. Fire, ground, and fighting to take care of that thing there. Electivire. So this is going to be another very interesting one, the Shadow form here. So basically it's like a Magnezone minus the weakness to fighting plus coverage for flying, or not for flying, but for Dragonite, for dragons. All right, because of the Ice Punch, or even Grass types. Magnezone can get walled by Grass, although Grass is not going to be all over the place in the Premier Cup, right? Really nowhere, to be honest. Venusaur maybe once in a while, but I personally never really seen that. I think Venusaur could actually perform good. It might throw people off, right? So, pretty interesting pick here. It's going to be good up against top meta. Metagross, Togekiss, several others there. Pretty nice. It's calling for Thunder Shock, Wild Charge, and Ice Punch. All right, you could go with a double thunder, but I don't really recommend that. You might as well just go for that Ice Punch there for a bit of coverage. Conkeldurr, this is my man. This thing is a beast. Of course, it helped me get to rank 10 after we did swap it out. Purchased that secondary move on our better IV one, so we have 2 with 2 secondary moves. Kind of expensive, kind of a waste. Not necessarily for the better one, but you know, I need to not be so rushy in these things and wait for a better IV. So it is going to be great up against many different Pokemon here. Of course, you do have the Machamp option, which can spam the cross chop a little bit faster. On the other hand, Conkeldurr is going to be doing a little bit more damage for you. And it also has Stone Edge, a harder hitting rock type move. But again, it is not going to be charging as fast as Machamp, while Machamp's going to be able to spam its charge moves a little bit faster while hitting a little bit less. So it really depends on your playstyle. I just found Conkeldurr to be a better option for me because, one, I like it, and it just does what I needed to do. Anyways, moving down, we have the regular Electivire. You know, it's kind of pretty much doing almost the same thing as the other one. All right, so since we did take a look at the meta here, let's go ahead and take a look at the Pokemon that I do have all ready to go here, minus Legendaries and Mythicals, because I don't think I'm going to be playing in the Master League, Open Master League. I'm just going to straight go Premier. So we do have the Garchomp here that is a 98%. Doesn't have a secondary move because I had this one and Best Buddied it before I had that one way before. So the lesser IV one, we do have a Garchomp. It is viable. It can find some usability in the Premier Cup. And then we have Dragonite, which you're going to be seeing all over the place. I mean, this thing is just amazing, right? It's going to be good in both Premier and in the Open Master League. And then we have Metagross, another Pokemon you're obviously going to be seeing all over the place. And for everything in Master League, you're going to want the best IVs possible. There is no specific IV spread that you need. It's just the best IVs. Simple as that. Best buddy, everything that you... This is the highest CP you can get possible. Then we have the Rhyperior here, which can be pulling some very clutch wins, as a matter of fact. Not too sure why it doesn't have... Well, I just didn't heal it after a Heatran raid. Okay. So we're set on the moves for that thing. And then we have the Slacking. Oh my gosh. Should we use Slacking, guys? It's, you know, it's 137 on the list. Don't go Hydreigon. I mean, you could. The thing is super weak to all kinds of stuff. Very weak to Charm, weak to Fighting. I mean, it's just not the best option. So then we have my Conkeldurr here. And yeah, I had a secondary move on my other one, but the IIVs on this one were a little bit better. And I needed every little bit of help that I could get to reach rank 10 last season. So I just went ahead and went with this one at 98%. Beautiful, 15, 15, 14. Mwah, perfect. And then we have Togekiss, which is not the one I want to use. Here we go. Best Buddy, 100% IV. Let's get it. That charm is just going to be doing that much more damage when you do Best Buddy it up. 100% IV as well. This one did come from Kato. Much love and appreciate that 100% IV hatch. Let's get it. All right, so moving down the list, we saw Mamoswine, which is also going to be a viable option as well. Although something you need to take note of for Mamoswine is the fact that it is squishy. All right, it is squishy, but it is going to be able to spam those charge moves, Powder Snow, Avalanche, and Bulldoze, which are going to be very useful for you in the Master Premier Cup. All right, taking a look at those, that is not the Snorlax we're going to be using here, although that's, I think those, was not 100? Maybe. I have 100 Snorlax somewhere. Anyway, we have Escadrille, which is going to be another, I wouldn't call very popular pick, but something that could definitely counter the meta and kind of throw your opponent off a bit, right? So I haven't purchased a secondary move on this. Think I'm going to go ahead and do that. I might test it out. Well, we're going to test it out. We just spent 50,000 Stardust on this thing for a secondary move. We're not going to just not use it. It's sitting at 15, 15, 10. I don't care. I'm okay with that. Whatever. We're good to go. All right. It's fine. It's my best Escadrille that we have right now. So moving down the list of my Pokemon here, let's go ahead and see. We have, there it is. There's Marcellus Wallace. Let's go. The MVP himself. Sitting at a 10, 15, 15 for a Shadow. We already know Shadows are going to be great at a 0-0-0. Although you don't necessarily want to do that, right, for Master League. So got that. Oh man, I can't wait to use that Snorlax. I think it's amazing. We have Magnezone, used this for a few times. Last season, obviously great, went up against it all the time. The thing is very annoying and very strong. We have our Shundo Electivire. That's right, a Shundo, folks. We have a secondary move on it as well. Don't know if I'll use it. We have our Shadow Gardevoir here. 3 or 95% Shadow. Secondary move, let's go. 100% Machamp. We have that loaded, ready to go. Another great option that you're going to probably want to go with. Gyarados is going to be very interesting now. Is this the Aquatail? Yeah, I haven't powered it up yet. I still have 2 other Gyaradoses that I have powered up, so I'll think about doing that. And literally the first video I made for the Season 2 Premier Cup was going to be Arcanine. Pretty good counter to those top metas. Thank you for watching, trainers, and I'll be catching you all next time. Take care.